What's up, guys? It's James from James Gentiles. I just got the freezer yesterday. We're gonna check all the temps. I'm gonna go over not some, but a gecko that just hatched and tell you about what I got going on coming up. Alright, so here's my big freezer. Max you can set it at is 7. I have it sitting just above 5 right now. As I was temping it last night, it was pretty cold. This was running really warm last night, but it's still frozen in here, it looks like. Yes, look at it. -10. That might be too far. Laser looks really cool though. Pew 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 pew. I have one of these cryo packs right here, so I can just have everything in there is still frozen. You like my Reptile and Aquarium Depot bracelet? It's $3. All proceeds go to ARC and one other foundation I can't remember, but I was glad to support them, and it looks cool. So I'm just gonna turn that down just a little. Doesn't need to be too high. I'm gonna slowly keep turning it down, and maybe I'll turn it back up depending on what I feel like I need, just to keep everything frozen. Alright, now right here I have my incubator set up. We had a gecko hatch last night. I'm gonna take him out and tell you all about him. I need to fix that poster. So in here, one egg was laid, 6/5/19. It's labeled big ass good egg. So what happens is my buddy has a couple leopard geckos. I think he has like 2 or 3 females that are laying this year, and this is his first time breeding. So he doesn't have an incubator. Kind of irresponsible, but at the same time, I had an incubator and my fat tails were winding down and I didn't have a lot in there. So I told him, you just put your stuff in mine and I'll bring it to you. So take a look at that little guy. I'll get him out for you. Oh, it should be a girl. It did hatch a little early, but with how hot it's been over 100 degrees the last couple days. My incubator got up a little extra. It's set to like 85, but I think I got to like 88 at one point. So this is a little Bell albino leopard gecko. I believe the dad's pure Bell and the mom's just Bell. So what pure means is they've proven it out. They've bred it with patternless, they've bred it with other albinos, and then they prove that it's not het for anything. So you're not gonna breed a bunch of these and then one day pop out something unless it's random, unless it's a new morph on its own. But I'm gonna put this guy back for now, and I'll take him to work with me today, and we'll talk about a very special thing coming up. Alright, so I just recently bought a very expensive gecko. Some of you have seen my patternless whiteout African fat tail male that I will be breeding next year. He's worth $800. I only paid $4 for him because I get a really good price. This gecko costs more than that. And today I find out if it's cool enough, which it should be. Weather temperature actually went down like 2 degrees. So it should be good enough to ship. And it will arrive tomorrow. And that'll be a separate video. But I have a very expensive gecko coming tomorrow from Tiki's Geckos, and I'm extremely excited to watch it grow and have it for breeding next year. That's it for right now. I'll come back to you guys later, and for me it'll be a whole day of work, but for you it'll be 2 seconds. Alright, so I just got back from work. Work number one, I work 2 jobs. And right before I went, I actually had a baby crested gecko hatch out. And so I didn't have a chance to film it. But that bottom tag right there, Winona, Dad is 1801, crested gecko. It's number 1905. No lay date, but the hatch date is 6/19/19, which is today. And Winona is the name my mom came up with. She said, name the next female. I wasn't going to break it to her that you can't really tell till they're older. So I'm just going to name it Winona. And if it's a boy, oh well, its name's Winona. So it was having its first shed this morning when I put it away. Its little nose was peeled back. But I'm going to take it out here and show you guys. Look at all these. Is there 2 or is there 3? It looks like there's 2. Yeah. That means, yep, right there. It looks like it's hasn't really shed any more than it did. Alright, so you can see right there on the nose it's starting to shed. And if I bring it right here, you can see it has little bits of pinstripe. I don't know if you consider those little bits a partial, but I really like it. It looks like the reflectors that divide lanes on a freeway. It's also got it's gonna jump. It's also got kneecaps and the thigh fringe. I forget exactly what you call that. It might just be fringe. But definitely a jumpy little guy. Alright, I have some real exciting news. I had a confirmation call and a tracking number email for a very expensive gecko tomorrow. That'll be its own video, but this gecko kind of brings me to that next level of breeder. And it's just going to be nice. It's going to be really nice to have something like this in my collection and to have it going next year with all these geckos I'm raising up. Next year is going to be like a good year. Next year, let's just say I hope to quit my second job next year. I think exactly a year from now, I think I will be able to do it. We'll see. Alright, right now I'm just going to go through the snakes I fed last night. If you watched that video, you would know. And I think there was a couple that were still eating that I just had to double check. I'm not 100% sure. I need to redo that guy's bedding. Probably next time I feed. Those are good. That one didn't eat right. Yeah, that one did not eat last night. This one ate 2. Is my albino? Yeah, it is. That boy's thick. Well, that girl's thick. Let me get her a bigger hide. See, these are paper towel rolls, but this little toilet paper roll ain't big enough no more. This should give them a little something bigger once they get that big. And then, of course, my 2 corn snakes. I can't wait to get these big. I have so many adult mice I need them to eat. Yep, there's that lump in that belly. Hard to see on camera, but it's a lump, I tell you what. And the last one. Yeah, this one I gave a bigger hide too. Oof. Look at that pretty girl. Or boy, I forget. This is the one we think's a girl. We'll find out. It would really suck if I ended up with 2 adult males. I'd sell one of them and be stuck looking for a female. Pay a little bit more too for an adult. Now I want to take a minute at the end of this video to go over the Sacramento Reptile Show. It's June 19th right now. The Sacramento Reptile Show is like September 28th, something like that. So it's like three months away, maybe a little bit more. The The company I work for will be vending the show. They do every year. They make a ton of money there every year. And last year was my first year there, and they asked me to work it over the weekend, and I had already made plans to go and carpool with people. So I said no. This year, I'm not really sure if they're going to ask me to go. They might, just because I kind of know a lot. I've been there a good amount of time compared to most people there. But I have a buddy, Armando Palacios, in the area. You might know him. He breeds Cribos, black-tailed Cribos, Eastern Indigos, Mexican black king snakes, blood red pied-side corns, Florida kings, all sorts of good, cool stuff. He's got a ton of snakes. His collection's huge. Tons of baby snakes. Him, Glenn, I forget Glenn's last name. Glenn from Glenn's Reptiles. Glenn's from Lakeless Excellence. Those two guys are planning to vend together. And me and my buddy Trent from Trent's Reptiles will also be there at their booth helping them sell animals. And we'll be selling some of our stuff, and we'll all just be getting some profit from it. And I got a bunch of cresteds I want to bring. And I might bring some hairless rats. I might bring some old mouse tubs, mouse breeding tubs. I want to build a rack, a mouse rack. At this point in time, because I got the freezer, I'm not really sure where I'd put the mouse rack. I know where I'd want to put it. I'd want to put it right there, or right there. I need to get rid of those rats. Those rats need to die off, get fed off, or something, so I can put a mouse rack right there. That'd be a perfect spot for a mouse rack. But I don't have the snakes to eat those rats yet. I guess I could put them in the freezer. Yeah, I'll probably put them in the freezer. I'll probably euthanize them and put them in the freezer right before we build the mouse rack. Probably like the day I bring the mouse rack home. And I can get rid of that fish tank box finally. I've had that fish tank for like a year. And they're just chilling in the box, just keep it off the ground. And then I'll have 6 of those breeding mouse tubs for sale with the water bottles. And that'll be nice. That'll be really nice. I'll be able to breed a lot more mice. I will, hopefully at that point, I can start selling some mice that I euthanize. I can fill up the freezer, sell a bunch, fill the freezer again, sell a bunch. And with the rack, with the mouse breeding rack, I can breed a lot more at once. And it would cost me a lot more in food, but I'd probably have to change water bottles every day. But at the same time, I could sell them and make a profit. Now, right now in my current apartment, it's kind of hard to sell. Like, I sell dubia every once in a while, but when I go on like a spree of I need 4 people to come pick up dubia within 2 days, just because I have so many, it kind of looks really sus because they park at the office. I live really close to the front. They park at the office, and I run out with these 2 containers, and they hand me some money, and everyone says goodbye. It looks really suspicious. And again, with that, I'm not really supposed to be selling stuff out of my apartment. That's kind of one of the rules. So, mouse rack. Hopefully mouse rack. We'll see what happens. But that's it for today. Lots of little clips, lots of little information. I'm James from James's Reptiles. Check me out on Instagram. I had the crested gecko and that bell albino. I posted pics of those today. Check me out on Twitter. Facebook is just James Welter. Gmail is jamesreptiles@gmail.com. And I will catch you guys next time.